Okay, today we are going to talk about how to repaint, how to paint fill, whatever you want to call it. We are going to change the paint color of these irons. So let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to the Mobile Club Maker. I'm AJ, thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So we are going to talk about how do you custom paint your irons, your wedges, your putters. This is going to work for any of these. And basically we're just going to go through the process of one, how do you remove the old paint? And two, how do you apply the new paint? Now let me just go ahead and say right up front, I am not an artist. I am horrible at drawing. I am not good at any of this stuff. So if I can do this, you can definitely do this. But that being said, I definitely want to hear from you guys if you have any tips or tricks and you've done this before down in the comments. So let me know if you think there's a better way to do something here or a better product that people can be using. So definitely let me know and let everyone else know down in the comments. So the first thing we're going to look at here, these are the irons that we're going to be using. These are raw finish. The finish has been taken off these Callaway irons, and the paint color basically just plain black. Nothing wrong with that, but we're going to try a couple different things, see if we can pick something that's a little bit more exciting. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to show you a few different options I've done, and I want to get people's opinion. I want to get a vote basically at the end of this video down in the comments. See which of these people like the best, because the one that gets the most votes, I'm going to go ahead, do the whole set with that paint fill setup and use that when I build these clubs next week. So definitely when we get to the end of the video, I'm going to show you a few different options. Let me know what you think is the best one of the bunch. But what we're going to use today is actually this Super Clean product. I got some of the Super Clean. They sent it to me, I don't know, a month or two ago. Basically, I think they send this to a bunch of different people who have YouTube channels hoping that they're going to make a video about it. I got the stuff. I played around with it a little bit, doing a couple different things. I really didn't see a big use for it in the kind of videos that I do here and the kind of things that we talk about. But when I got to this video for today, I was looking online, reading a couple things, and I noticed that somebody had mentioned using either this product or a very similar product. So I went ahead and decided, well, you know what, I've already got this in the shop. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And guess what? It works really well. So I like it because it's not toxic as far as I can tell. It doesn't burn your fingers if you accidentally get a little on you. It seems to be relatively safe. It's biodegradable, and you can find it basically anywhere. You can find it at Walmart, Amazon, wherever. Like I said, there's plenty of other products that you can use. Acetone, Simple Green, I've seen different things, but I had this available, so that's what we're going to use today. Okay, so I'm switching to my overhead camera view here, hopefully give you a little better idea of what we're doing. I'm also going to go ahead and just put one of these rubber gloves on, latex gloves, just to kind of protect my hand when I'm dealing with the paint removing product and with the acetone that we're going to be using later. Basically what I did, I just got this is just a little Tupperware, a little plastic container, and just filled it up with some of this Super Clean. This is a foaming one, but there's a non-foaming that works the same, I think. And basically all I did is just drop it gently in there so it's submerged. Leave it in there 12 hours, a few hours, whatever you've got. The longer it stays in there, the better. Once it's been in there a while, I'm going to fish this guy out. This one I've had in here since this morning, so it's probably been in here 3-4 hours at this point. And I'm just going to take it out and just use a basic toothbrush. This is a medium bristle. You could use any number of nylon style brushes that can have pretty firm bristles. You just don't want to use metal because you can scratch the finish, scratch the metal on the head. But anything like this is great. And then you're basically just going to go and start to scrub where the paint was. So anywhere there were little logos, anywhere there were little words, the number here on the sole, any of those areas. If you can't get all the paint out, what I ended up doing with a lot of these heads, scrubbing them one time, putting them back in the solution for another couple hours, coming back, scrubbing them a second time, and that basically got all the paint off them. So once you get all the paint off them, I'm going to drop that in there for a second, just sort of rinse off the paint remover, take it back out, And as you can see, now this one's not perfect, but there's still a little bit of paint you can see up in the corners on the edges. That's where the paint's going to stick usually, is up in the little corners, or again, inside the recesses of some of these letters. So if you have to, put it back in, do it again, you'll be good to go. Okay, so here's the head we're going to go ahead and paint up. We'll start off with the blue. This is enamel paint, so paint that's used for doing models and things like that. This is made by Testers. This is what I usually use. It seems to work well. It seems to hold well, so if you can find this, great. You can also find sometimes those paint pens, which will also work. We're going to just use a brush here, but again, the pens would work just as well probably. And what we're going to do is just kind of paint the words first. Just make sure we get all the indentations covered with paint. Paint the number in. Again, making sure you get it to all the edges, all the corners. Now, once we've done this, now these heads are going to be a little different because if you're using raw heads, you kind of have to work fast because the paint will actually start to soak into the pores of the metal because it now doesn't have that chrome or that brushed finish on it. If you have chrome or brushed finish, you can kind of leave the paint there and get it off later on, and it's not any more difficult. With this, though, it will start to soak in, and so you kind of have to move at a pretty good pace. So now I've just put some acetone on a paper towel, and again, we're just going to wipe very gently to get the paint off of the metal. We'll also now we'll do the number on the top. You can see that actually works a lot easier. That comes right off, the paint's in there nicely. Now I'm going to go back and fill in this little X. I'm going to try and be as careful as I can with the X because it's being sort of difficult to get all the paint off of that raw metal. So we're going to try and keep it just where it belongs as much as possible. Just like that. Actually, for this, I'm going to use a Q-tip and sort of try and trace it with the Q-tip to remove the excess paint. That's pretty good for right now. I can clean that up more, but that's a pretty good starting point. Now we'll go back and we'll do the white. And again, we just want to make sure we cover all the surfaces so that it gets down in all the little crevices. Make sure you get the very edges because a lot of times you'll go through it, but you won't get all the way to this outside edge, say of the C or the Y over here. And then once you wipe it away, you'll notice it. So go ahead, go a little bit further if you have to. And again, same thing, just gently wiping away all the surface paint that hasn't made it down into the crevices. So I've probably picked the hardest of any finish as far as iron heads go to try and do this paint fill on, because this raw finish, you just have to be extremely careful when you're doing it because that raw finish, the pores are there and the paint just soaks into it. So these are going to have a little bit of a hue around where we painted them. That is something I will take care of once we get to that final decision of what colors we're going to go ahead and go with for this set of irons. But for today, for right now, hopefully it gives you at least a reasonable idea of what it'll look like, what to expect from it. Again, if you have a chrome head, if you have a polished head or a brushed style finish, the paint is very easy to get off and not leave any sort of residue on the flat surface areas. But with these raw heads, the paint is definitely going to soak in a little bit. So it'll take a little more work to get that cleaned up, but we will do that before we go ahead and build these irons. Couple different options we went and played around with. Here's the one we just did in this sort of blue and white motif. We also did one in a, call it a Masters green and yellow sort of color pattern. Also did this silver and gold coloring, which I think looks pretty good. 3 different options here. Let me know again in the comments, what do you think? Which of these do you think would look best or does look best on these iron heads? And leave it down in the comments. Whichever one gets the most support for, I will go ahead and do all of the rest of the heads and remove the paint from these other ones and do it in that new color pattern. And we'll go with that when I build these clubs up next week. So let me know about that. Again, if you have comments, if you have tips or tricks about how to do this better, quite honestly, because again, this is not my forte. This is definitely beyond my comfort zone. So I would be definitely interested to hear what you have to say as far as some different options, some different tips to getting the best result when you try and repaint, when you try and put a new color on your irons, your wedges, your putters. If you enjoyed the video, please go down below, give it a thumbs up, and if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't, hit that little bell icon. It'll alert you when I post new videos. I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Mobile Clubmaker. Until next time, go watch some Masters or go play some golf. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.